All right, we are live. I'm going to pop out the chat. So I thought what I'd do today is a quick Q&A. We'll fire one up for, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour or something. If anyone has any questions, or if you let me know where you're from as well. We've got a few people here. Hey, Nick, how are you, man? Gas and Bullets. I like the name. How are you? I think I might have always comment on that name, maybe. It sounds familiar. So AJ says, glad I finally made a live stream. Thanks, man. I thought I'd try one at a different time of the day. I've been out most of today, so I thought I was going to do one this morning, and then I just got sidetracked with stuff, so I thought I would see how we go. Let me know how the sound is too, guys, if it's sounding all right. I've basically just changed my mic, so I'm trying one that I picked up. All right, we've got Matthew, Charles from Minnesota, Fish from, it's the 17th in America. Oh, yeah, it is too. Yeah, so you're not the day before. Derek Down Under from Western Australia. Cool stuff. All right, sounds good. All right, awesome. So I managed to pick up, I don't know if everyone saw the video I posted the other day regarding my massive eBay score, but I'm trying that microphone right now, which is just off camera here. So I thought I'd give it a shot, see if it worked all right. Greetings from the San Francisco Bay Area. That's from Dame Fino. Awesome. Been there many times, as well as Texas. Cool. Kindisk from Greece. Awesome. All right. Unreal. People from everywhere here. So Freddie Frets. Stormy here in Melbourne. Stormy Saturday. There's a song in there. Lando, I missed your live stream, man. I was out of the house for like 4 hours and came home and I gave it the thumbs up. I watched a bit of it. We've got Robert from Reading, North Carolina. Detroit, that's John. Awesome. Been to Detroit, I think, twice. Yeah, probably twice. All right. Dale from Toowoomba. Awesome. So, yeah, what I thought I'd do today is answer some questions if anyone had some stuff. Otherwise, I can tell you a little bit about what's going on. So, Derek Down Under says, finally bought a Tokai guitar. Love it. Awesome. Which one did you get, man? We got Luca from Italy. Gas and Bullet says, did you get my rig request from your sponsor shop? No. They said they got a whole lot of emails. And I think one of the guys needs to forward some of that stuff to me at some point, but I haven't seen any of those emails yet. Probably best just to email me at intheblues@outlook.com or forward it to me from there. So we've got people from Canada. That's Roger. Wayne from, is that Mesa? Is that how you pronounce that? Arizona? Quentin, how are you, man? Orange County, California. I play what I learned, blues from various channels, and it still doesn't sound cool. Just pick some licks out of your favorite musos, man. That's what I do. I put an Albert King CD on or something and just play and try to kind of nail the feel. That's the trick. So Derek says, how's the EP recording going? Yeah, pretty good. I did a lot really quickly, and I need to layer up the last. I still need to get bass down. Unfortunately, my friend who's playing bass had a family thing going on, so I had to go overseas for a while. But I'll basically I'm hoping it's done. I'd like to hope by the end of next month, or at least close to the end of next month. It's one of those things I do when I have time to do it. And at the moment, as you can see, I've been putting a lot of content out, and I haven't prioritized the album, but I need to get onto that as well. So Nick says, I'm green. I'm not. I'm sure that is not my computer. But if anyone else says that I'm green in color, please let me know. Eric says his wife says hi. That's awesome. Howdy. What city am I in? I'm in Melbourne, just a suburb of Melbourne. Got a red stripe, 112, and now a Mustang 4. Following watching your vids, playing them more than my tube amps. Awesome, man. Those Peaveys are great. I just picked up the Studio Pro 112 for the bargain price of $152. So, and this microphone that I'm using, so it was a good deal. I just tried to use this M-Box thing that came with the everything, but it's too old. It works. It plugs like it doesn't detect it, but I can tell it's working, but the software just doesn't. It's too old, unfortunately. So this is going to be my paperweight now. Or I'll just, I don't know. Someone's still running Windows XP can have it. All right. Using chromatic notes in the blues scale. Try not to get too stuck around the scales. Like, I'm not maybe that adventurous with what I play, but I like to just play stuff. Like, a lot of people who learn scales to death don't really have any musicality. They just run scales. So try to learn stuff that you can hear in your head, like sing a bit in your head and try to work it out. Steve says his Ionic audio converter showed up today. Awesome. Cool, man. They're pretty cool little devices. They work great. Are the local Australian Gibson distributors going out of business? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't even know if there is a distributor. I mean, Gallons was the importer of them here for a long time. They probably still are, and they own Allen's as well now, I think. All right. What's my take on shoegaze music? It's whatever you like, man. There's no right or wrong. Doesn't matter if you dig. I listen to all kinds of stuff. My music collection is so messed up. I got like everything that you could expect back here. Like if I was to grab 3 CDs next to each other, just whatever. Check this out. JJ Cale, Eric Clapton, Road to Escondido, the Brain Scan soundtrack. I'm a big White Zombie fan, and this has also got just a whole lot of heavier stuff from, I think, the early 2000s. Dave Matthews Band. So it doesn't matter, just whatever. Just listen to whatever you enjoy. I mean, yeah, it's whatever you want to play, man. There's nothing wrong with layering up effects and going crazy. If I could do it, I probably would to some extent. So, all right, when will the studio recording process videos? Oh, okay. When are the studio recording process videos coming? I have a lot of studio time coming up, and your tips help me start the session. I could use more of those videos when you expand on it. So, time I sit down and record, I'll film parts of it. I wanted to wait for Jeff, the bass player, to come over to do his part, so it's not just me. That would be a really cool addition to that, like getting the bass hooked up and all that kind of stuff and laying it down. And Brian, my friend, doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to ask him to play some slide on there as well. And actually, it's funny. I've got one of those Electro Harmonics organ pedals, and I was almost thinking about maybe trying to fake some organ parts with it because it's really, really good. Heb says White Zombie, not Rob Zombie. Well, yeah, I mean, either way. Best cheap effects pedal for rhythm guitar player. I mean, do you need one? Is my first question. But if you're talking about just an overdrive pedal, there's a million of them out there. Just depends what kind of sound you want, man. These open-ended questions like that, I can't answer them. Just listen to as many as you want or as you can and find one that you like. All right. What are you not good at musically speaking? What do you have to work on? Oh, man, lots. My singing's not great. I could learn a whole lot of Mixolydian stuff, and there's plenty. There's a lot of stuff I'm not good at. I'm not strong with my 16th notes on guitar either. That's one of those things where I know I could put a lot more time and effort into that. I don't really play fast. Not that that's essential, but I really don't. I don't have a lot of dexterity. I don't need to work on that. But I kind of like what I'm hearing in my guitar playing. It's simple and it seems to connect the dots pretty well. Like I've played with a lot of guitar players over the years, and some are way more textbook than what I am. But you know, I generally get an okay response from my playing. Generally, not always, but yeah. How can an Ibanez Tubescreamer be $450? Only if it's hand-wired and it's a limited edition one that comes in a really funky wooden box. But the actual answer is it shouldn't be. It's ridiculous. All right. How do I like the organ guitar pedal? I could not find a local organ player to cover some Simpsons live stuff. So I'm thinking of buying an electro harmonics pedal for live, to use live. It's one of those things where it's good. It's not 100. It does different. It's a bit weird because what happens is usually when you turn your guitar down, the actual signal drops, right? But with that pedal, when you turn your guitar down, it does nothing until you turn it off, and then it just cuts out. So it doesn't respond volume-wise like you'd expect. It does some really great. It's got like 3 out of the 9 presets or however many that are on there that are really good, and that I think you could probably use. Only problem is it gets loud real easy, so you just got to watch your volume and just don't go blowing your speaker. But overall, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Freddie says, did I buy that Tele Custom? No, well, I really, really wanted it. I was like, I'm going to get this. I even said on one of the videos, my custom shop, blah, blah, blah. But no, I took it back. It was just too expensive for me. I would love it, but anyway. I actually find like those single coils completely changed my mind on single coil tone. I got to play back to back with my main Telecaster, and I actually ordered some single coils from MJS Pickups, so I got them coming up, which is pretty cool. What up from California, from Jaden James? How are you, man? How do thin necks? How do thin and thick necks differ in sound? They don't. It's just about feel. Basically, if you got big hands, you probably prefer a wider neck, like a 50 style one. If you prefer something that's thinner, you probably most people don't like big necks on guitar. Like most, putting that from just people I've spoken to over the years, and that they don't generally like big necks, but it's just a personal sort of. It's whatever you're used to. So if you've been playing pretty modern strats for years, you'll probably like the thinner necks. It's just something. As soon as I got on my 52 Tele, that's when I went, wow, these wide necks just fit my hand better. I don't get any sort of pain in here. If I play my Strat for too long, I kind of get a bit sore in here, just like from pushing this way. So I've just got a more comfortable grip on a wider neck. So it doesn't really affect anything in terms of sound. There might be some sustained differences, but not in terms of tone. There won't be any differences. The pod can give you organ type sounds with swells. Yeah, it can, but it doesn't do it like this. This thing's on another level. The only problem I have with electro harmonics pedals, and probably get grilled for this, but I don't think they're built very well. They use a lot of cheap pots, and they charge a fortune, at least here in Australia, for some of their pedals. Not all of them, but they're overpriced. They really are. Tell me more about those pedals behind you. All right, so this one was one that I made, actually. This is one that's called the Night Drive. I sprayed that enclosure myself, and this rocks. This actually sounds really, really good. I did a demo of this probably 2 years ago. It was just a lot of work to build a pedal. It gave me an appreciation for it as well, but unless you're getting stuff powder coated and all that, so you can see the chips are coming off it here. So this was the first. I built one pedal before this, but this was the first one that I painted, and ordered custom controls here and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it works great. It works great. That's a Klon copy back here, little Centaur, and this one's the Sound HV Boost. Usually this is like packed full of pedals, but I've moved them. I don't know why, but I moved them for whatever reason. So I'll need to, I want to clean all this up anyway. I may actually just put pedals in there or something instead of all the CDs. All right, so question here. It says, Fulltone overdrive in a Vox AC15, any suggestions? Which Fulltone? I think they make like 4 or 5. My suggestion with a Vox is get a Tubescreamer. because Voxes don't have any mid. They don't have any mid frequencies. They're all like lows and highs. Tubescreamer rocks. You can get that Brian May tone all day. It's pretty cool. Although I can't stay, I will jump in and say good day. That was my 15 seconds of fame. Thanks, Viking. Thanks for all your comments on the videos, man. You kept getting 5th comment for about 2 weeks there. So, Bedrell, I had it in my head before how to pronounce your name. And I noticed you did a video on maybe changing your channel's name because idiots like me can't pronounce it properly. So, Bedro, let's just go with that. Guitar says, hold out for the PRS. Yeah, I'm pretty keen on picking one of them up just to see what they're all about. I think they're going to be a good, fun guitar. I picked up a right-handed one at the shop the other day and just had a look at it, and I went, it's pretty cool. A lot of people don't seem to like the green color, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. What brand is the organ pedal? It's Electro Harmonics, or EHX. They're pretty good. They're not bad. I don't know if I would pay like retail prices for one, so maybe find one secondhand. They're expensive. They're really expensive for what they do, and it's kind of like, how often are you really going to use it? That would be my other question. If you're going to be paying $400, got to make sure that it's definitely something you want to use. And there's a couple of different ones. I think there's 3 different types now. I've got 2 of the 3 here. A friend of mine's got the other one. So I don't know which one's best. I'm not really too sure. Do I like any other genre other than blues, such as punk, metal, or rock? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, growing up, I listened to everything. Punk was my favorite music style for a long time, like old school stuff like Bad Religion, Pennywise, all that kind of stuff. I like music like Jamiroquai, White Zombie, Rob Zombie stuff, Chris Isaac. Man, I got heaps of stuff here. I got some old school 90s sort of like stuff you'd probably laugh at now, like Everlast and Warren G. I got funk. I've got all kinds of stuff here. Just you name it. You name it. There's a bit of everything. It's just a mess. I've got a lot of Southern rock stuff like Drive-By Truckers. Yeah, just you name it. There's bits of everything in this collection. And this isn't all of it either, just what you're seeing here. Yeah, it goes back further. And I'm sure I've got more CDs somewhere as well. But blues is kind of like my favorite thing to play. I just like jamming out to it. It's a really fun style of music. Regulators mount up. Yeah, that's the one. This is the best $1 I ever spent. I got this from Cash Converters. Oh, it's just $3, but I'm pretty sure I paid $1 for it. I love this album. This came out in '94, and when I was right into playing basketball. And I remember this album was it was huge at the time. People probably laugh at it now, but yeah, it was a bit of nostalgia for me finding that. I only found it a few years back as well. I got some Led Zeppelin stuff here. Michael Jackson, Dr. John. Dr. John's another one of my favorites. New Orleans dude, super funky. Hab says Shane plays a blues version of Blur the Technicolor. I had that album on in the car, so that's from the Astro Creep 2000 album. I love that, man. I love that. I've literally had it on in the car. Here it is, right here. CD's not in here. Oh, it is. Oh no, that's the other CD. That's not the right CD, but yeah, that's in the car. So it's a rocket. Yeah, this is over 20 years old for those who are my age or roundabouts. I was listening to this just out of high school, I think, or maybe in high school. I can't remember, but yeah, crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. It's a bit like my DVD collection. It's just a mix of random stuff. It is really crazy. It's really crazy. But I like to listen to all kinds of stuff. So I think someone asked me what are some popular Australian bands right now. I don't know. I don't listen to the radio at all. I'm oblivious to it. I was in the car with my friend the other night, and he had one of our local radio stations on, and I was like, oh, kill me, man. All the ads and that. I just can't handle it. I just prefer to listen to whatever I choose to listen to. Shane, why does my fuzz tone sound better on battery than pedal power? It could be maybe the power supply isn't providing enough it could be like maybe it's either a faulty power supply or maybe it's underrated, possibly. I don't know if you've got a proper 9-volt. See, there's you can have a 9-volt DC power supply, but it might be like a 100 milliamp power supply, but the power might consume 300 milliamps. So, or higher, 4. Pretty rare it's going to take 400 milliamps, but you want to make sure that you're basically, your power supply has the required output, not just in volts, but in the milliamps. So, yeah, double check that. If you've got a chain of stuff that's on as well, it's going to make a huge difference to the draw, basically, of what it's trying to get from the power supply. All right. Do I play any bluegrass? No, I don't. I'm not that sort of inclined to do that. I listen to Bella Fleck and the Flecktones. That's as close to bluegrass as I get. No, yeah. All right. Ever listen to San Francisco rocker Chuck Prophet? No, I don't think so. Who is my favorite blues musician? I'm guessing Stevie Ray Vaughan. Not Stevie Ray Vaughan. No. Albert King is probably my main inspiration. Now my favorite player is Chris Kane. I think he's in a league of his own. I don't care who you put that guy up against or next to. Dude's got his own style. He doesn't sound like someone doing something else. As much as Stevie Ray rocks, he's basically playing Albert King and sort of Hendrix stuff. His songwriting was really his own thing, but in terms of his lead guitar, Chris Kane, man, he's got the BB King thing, but he's got that whole jazz chops thing going on. It's just really tasty stuff, and he can sing like a monster. I'm more partial to guys that can sing and play really well as opposed to just guitar players. Stevie was a great guitar player, but I can't really listen to him that much vocally. I prefer Clapton because he can sing better. This is opinionated stuff, and you know what they say about opinions, but I prefer to listen to guys that have really strong vocals, even though I don't, obviously, but and maybe less full-blown chops. Like Stevie's, there's a lot of chops, and that's cool too every now and then. But yeah, he's not my favorite. Chris Kane's definitely my current favorite. Albert King's probably my all-time favorite. / Eric Clapton's 90s blues, like From the Cradle. Even this 80s album's really good. 24 Nights is where I stole a lot of licks from, this album right here. I think it's disc 2. It's got Old Love, Hard Times. Actually, both discs. If you put on Have You Ever Loved a Woman off this is where I pinched a lot of the way that I play vibrato from. Yeah, I just like the finesse aspect of Clapton's playing back then. His tone was great too. If you ever hear or watch his live concert, I don't know where it is. I've got it here somewhere. He did a live concert live in Hyde Park where he rips out the 335. Game on. It's awesome stuff. All right. So when will my shop be restocked? So my online store is a place where I just resell pedals I'm sent to demo. I've been really, really lazy with it. I haven't done anything on there for quite some time. I tend to sell most of my stuff to Patreon. People who want to get it like half price. So I haven't. It's time saving for me to do that, and they get first dibs on stuff. But there's stuff that hasn't sold that I need to move or I don't need. So hopefully soon. I've just been really busy with doing my videos. Yeah, and that sort of stuff takes a back seat at the moment, unfortunately. But I need to get on it. It just saves me having to list it on eBay also to have that shop there. I mean, I'm technically kind of gifted with all that kind of crap. So I set that up myself. It was good fun. All right, Freddie King, awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Freddie King, one of the best vocalists ever for blues, man. What a huge voice. Derek Trucks is great too. Yeah, that's from Habs. I listen to a lot of their music. I've got, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 albums. I love JJ Gray and Mofro. Check them out too, man. Type in Sun is Shining Down, or I think it's called, from JJ Gray. And you'll just go, wow, who is this guy? It's not so much guitar, but it's sort of soul blues stuff. It's really cool. All right, so Melbourne has guitar players wall to wall. Do you ever get to jam with many of them? A la Burkes, Jeff, Bob Spencer. I've played with Bob Spencer. Burkes I haven't played with. I've spoken to him over the phone a few times and that, but and on live streams as well. But no, we've never jammed. We were supposed to do something, and I think he got busy, and then I went overseas, and then it sort of fell apart. So I might get him over here, or vice versa, and we should do some stuff at some point. Howlin' Wolf. No, the classic blues guy, Johnny Winter. Yeah, Johnny Winter's great. Johnny Winter can play and sing, and man. What about Albert King live Thursday night in San Francisco? So I've got that album, and I've got the Wednesday night one as well. So Wednesday and Thursday, there's 2 albums that released back to back. Different selection of tracks. I've got both of them. They're in cardboard covers. Somewhere in the mix. Like I said, this goes back a few like rows. It's not just that. But yeah, I've got both those albums. They're really good. Robert says, I used to be a fan of Joyo, not anymore. Joyo make fine stuff. Anytime I get asked what cheap pedals I should buy, I usually say Joyo. I'm not a fan of their stuff. I just don't, or haven't had any of their gear for ages. So, yeah, that was one of those things where I'm not around Joyo gear. That's all it comes down to. I think they make great stuff. All right, Ed says, were you invited to GuitCon? Yeah, I was, but I declined. Mindful Programming says, dude, Australia has some awesome underground scenes. My favorite band from Australia is Mr. Ott. If you didn't know, that's Ethio Jazz. Okay, cool. No, I'm not too familiar with that at all, but I'm in a bubble with music in Melbourne. A lot of guys will know if they... I tend to go to gigs where friends are playing. I don't usually go to gigs where it's some random style of music. Like, I just don't, because I'm really fussy with what I want to listen to, and I won't take the risk, which means I'm stuck like listening to a lot of the same bands. But essentially, yeah, I don't seem to know a lot about a lot of the other bands that are going on in Melbourne. Buddy Guy's great live. If you get a chance to see him live in a small venue, go see him. Odds are he's got some of the best live band vibe you're ever going to hear, like the best dynamics from whisper quiet to slamming. So yeah, definitely check him out. Buddy Guy's great. I've got a whole lot of his CDs. I've been to his club in Chicago twice, or once. No, once. I've only been once. All right, it's 1:10 a.m. in New York. What time is it here? It is 5:30 p.m. or 5:13 p.m. I should say. Fadley says, what about Tone City? Tone City make great pedals. Like they're not unreliable. It's like the company behind them are unreliable. If you buy from a shop and you can swap it, that's good. But if the shop might be out of stock, getting them can sometimes, or getting a replacement can sometimes be a pain for them. And I've experienced that firsthand. So they make great pedals. The sound of them are good. The tone's great. I just know, like, Joyo are generally really reliable from the other side of the business as well. They're probably improved, though, over the years. So maybe TC are good now. I don't know. AJ says, I tried a Duesenberg, and I must say I think the tone just beats Gibson, although they differ a bit. The quality of Duesenbergs are amazing. Any thoughts? Yeah, totally, man. I 100% agree. The guitar that I always struggle to not buy is the Duesenberg Star Player. I think it's fantastic. Do I regret declining GuitCon? Absolutely not. No, I watched. I mean, it's a cool event, but I watched a lot of the videos coming out of there. They're all the same. How many factory tours do you want? I don't want to just release another video like that. So I just prefer to do my own thing, man. It's hard to explain to people. Like, those get-together things are cool if you want to be a part of that, but I don't need that sort of... It's not going to help my channel. It won't. I might get more subscribers, yay, but it's not something that really appeals to me on a number of levels. And I think you're probably going to find that may turn into more of just a big product show. And that's not really that's not where I want to gear my channel towards, is going to events where every other YouTuber is doing exactly the same stuff. So yeah, I have no qualms about the people that go there or whatever. I think it's a really cool event, just not my thing. Yeah, Eric Gales is another great player. He's fantastic. Eric is an absolute monster. Yeah, there's a video of him playing with I think Matt Schofield and the dude who taught John Mayer, whose name slips my mind, is a Japanese guy. Tommy, I can't think of it. But anyway, and Eric just wipes the floor with everybody. So Albert Collins, exactly. Here's another one. Albert's one of my favorites. I never really sort of picked a lot of Albert's stuff out of his playing, because it's just, he's got this weird tuning. He plays with a capo, and I've always found it hard to sort of work out what it was he was doing. Although I think his phrasing and attack and sting in his notes is just amazing stuff. So yeah, Albert, highly underrated. I always felt like he was an underrated blues guy, even though he's fantastic. Another great guy who died, unfortunately, last year was Michael Burkes. Just unreal. Do I like traditional Australian music? That's interesting. And do you mean Aboriginal music, or do you mean... I don't know if we really have pioneered any type of music here in Australia. We play a lot of, like, rock. It was already invented. You know, there's other styles of music that I don't know if there actually is any traditional Australian music, but I could be completely wrong. So if I am, let me know. I just don't hear about it. All right, in the blues, what mini pedals and knockoff circuits? Do you have any favorites? I mean, yeah, all the Tone City stuff, the majority of the Joyo stuff are all copies. So there's a few there. Oh, man. What's the other brand? Mooer are basically copies. Not all of them, but most of them are copies of other stuff. Donna make their own circuits most of the time, but there's a few I think they've copied off other stuff as well. So I don't know. Yeah, Tomo Fujita. That's it. Thanks, man. I couldn't remember the guy's name. You'll find a lot of the cheap pedal companies are reproducing pedals that are already around. There's very few that are pioneering something new. Traditional music, you know, AC/DC. Yeah, well, there you go. So yeah, I like that sort of pub rock stuff. I won't play it, but I don't mind listening to it from time to time. So traditional Australian music, the Wiggles. Yep. Man, you know, they're our highest grossing band ever, are the Wiggles. Oh, I find that hilarious. So there's not one single band in the history of the world, in Australia, I should say, that's grossed more money than the Wiggles. Yep. And they wear skivvies, those tops that come up to here. If I've missed any questions, feel free to ask them again. As the chat gets scrolling, I tend to sort of overlook stuff, or I get carried away chatting, and then I forgot stuff. Have I played any Harley Benton guitars? I haven't. Yeah, that's one thing. Like Harley Benton, I don't see that in Australia at all. It might be here somewhere, but I just, that's one brand that just doesn't ever turn up here. I've never seen them. Like Harley Benton pedals are just rebranded Joyo pedals. So there's another company that aren't doing anything unique. In terms of their guitars, though, I know they have their own ones made and all that, but I haven't seen them. But they look cool. They actually look pretty cool. My kids loved all the Wiggles. Oh, I love the Wiggles. I said, yeah, absolutely. You could be in the Wiggles? Nah. Probably not talented enough. They don't need a blues guy. All right. Do you tend to prefer larger amps or smaller watt amps? Larger, always. The more headroom you have, the better pedals sound. The more headroom you got in terms of volume. And that, it's all relevant to, or relative to where you play. The reason I wanted that Studio Pro 112, I do one gig where I don't have any floor space. The Bandit was too loud for that room. I couldn't really get it to where it was really starting to sing. I wanted something of lower wattage and smaller footprint because the stage is tiny, man. It's so small in that place. Actually, two places if I ever get into the other one again. But yes, but generally, if I'm at a place like I played, what night was it? 2 nights ago. And I said to my friend, I don't know if I should bring the small amp or the big one. I talked myself into the big one because I thought to myself, you know what? I want to have more volume than not enough to assess like what type of room it is. And then next time I go, I'll take my small amp. That'll be plenty in there. But it just depends on what's going on. Actually, Quentin says, are you going to Winter Namm? I actually got invited this year. But I'm not sure I really want to go. Just because it's the same thing as GuitCon. I find like there's going to be a whole lot of people putting out videos of Namm as well. I just don't want to be another one of those kind of guys. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. But how many Namm videos do people really need? And how much of it's interesting? And how much of it is really like useful? That's kind of how I feel about it. I'm not interested really in networking with 1,000 companies. I'm lucky enough now, like I don't even email companies anymore. Maybe one every month or one every other month, but I'm just not that interested in being one of those guys. I'm not a brown noser by default or inherently. I don't want to kiss pedal companies' asses or guitar companies' asses and that. I'm not interested. I tend to sort of just do the stuff that interests me, and it's a little bit of a point of difference, hopefully. That's the plan. But I'd love to go to Namm, but I don't want a company to pay me or pay for my flights, I should say, to go, and then I'm kind of obliged to film stuff. That doesn't excite me. If I go, I just want to like go have a look around. I'd love to go and check it out. I just don't know if I'd want to go and do a whole lot of videos. But if I end up back at Jerry's again next year, sometime, maybe June, July, August, or whatever, maybe I'll go to the Nashville one with him if he wants to go to that. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Look, I went to the Melbourne guitar show, and after about an hour, I had enough. It was just like too many people, too loud, too many people, and too loud. It was cool to look around and see stuff, but I don't know. I couldn't wait to get out of there in the end. So I just thought, you know what? And it's funny because I was with a couple of really big guitar nerds, Rick and Ryan, and we were all like, let's get out of here. Like it's not my sort of thing. I'm tipping anyway. Dave says he used to work for Roland. He hated Namm with a passion. What other guitar YouTube channels do you like? I used to be subscribed to a lot of them, and I'm not anymore. Like I may be subscribed to about 10. I'm not that interested in a lot of stuff I see on a lot of other channels. I'm not just saying for mine, but like I don't know. Like I said a while back, the gear overload thing isn't really that helpful and non-stop. So I've unsubscribed to a lot of them. But I really like Pixie Licks' channel. I like his live streams as well. I think he's really cool. I used to be subscribed to Andertons. That's from Habs. I'm not anymore. I kind of felt like they kind of mislead people sometimes with their videos. I mean, they're entertaining and they've done really well, but I find like some of their reviews or whatever of, you know, the post-production thing, once I found out about that, I just went, this is a little too misleading for people. And I kind of jumped ship then. And I think it was right around a similar time that the Mustang came out. Prior to that, I think it was the Mesa Boogie re-review that they did. I just went, the Cab Clone. I just went, man, this is pretty bad. But look, they're entertaining guys. I don't dislike the dudes. I think they're nice. They'd be nice guys or whatever. But you know, that's what really put me off was the fact that in post-production stuff to make stuff sound better isn't very good. Someone wrote they're not really reviewing, they're selling products. Yeah, but in a way that it's just it's nothing against them either. It's just one of those things. Like I watch their videos from time to time, but I'm not subscribed to them anymore. There's some stuff that I'll watch, like they did a John Mayer amp shootout thing that came up in my feed, and I watched that. But yeah, See, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, dude. Sorry, Segundete says the sound of Namm videos is poor and crappy, and that's kind of what I meant before. Like, if I go there, I'm going to be, there's probably enough content I could put up for, a few months, but it's just going to be low quality. I don't really like that. This is as low quality as I would like, a webcam and a mic. So yeah, don't take it like I don't. I hate the guys that are on that channel. It's not that. It's just that there's a misleading sense of stuff, especially that. Look, go watch that cab clone video. Go the re-review one. Anyway, but they've done well for themselves, and a lot of people go, "Oh, you hang a lot of crap on these guys." I don't. That's my one problem, was the fact that I find their videos misleading in terms of sound, and that might not be the case on all of them, but that's just my thing. So why don't I look at performance channels? Oh, okay. So if you're talking about musicians, I follow a lot of musicians on YouTube. Most of my favorite artists, I'll follow their channels and I'll watch their stuff, live clips. I'll follow, playlists and all that kind of stuff as well. Someone just wrote, I wish Pixie would do more than one live stream. Quentin says that Pixie would do more than one live stream a month. Yeah, I think he's going to start doing pedal reviews. So stay tuned for that. That should be interesting. What I was about to do was just bring up my subscriptions here, so I can find out who it is I follow, because I can't even remember. I follow probably smaller YouTube channels than larger ones these days. Let me have a look. All right, let me take a look here. In terms of ones you'll probably know, let's have a look. I follow Fender. No, I follow Wampler Pedals, Kenneth Russell. Here's a little shout out. I'm going to put this in this video. There's this like 11-year-old chick who's doing some really great videos. She's from Denmark, I think. Her name's Philippa. It's Philippa with the letter Q at the end. Philippa Q. Cool videos. She rocks. So go check her out. She's going to be the next gen of YouTube, and she can play already. She's 11, so go support her too. But yeah, I got like 100. I follow about 100 channels. I'd say more than 10 of them now, looking at my feed, would be guitar channels, but most of them are pretty common. There's not a whole lot of niche channels that I follow. What's my favorite blues player at the moment? Chris Kane, hands down. I really like. I get into Sean Costello as well. He unfortunately died when he was 30 or 31. Fantastic player, great singer. There's some really great live videos of him playing in New York City, and he's unbelievable. Yeah, Dave says he uses Anderton's just to see new stuff, and then he goes to other sites for proper reviews. Don't ever just trust one source. Absolutely. Yeah, people should do their homework. And I was really sold on that Fender Mustang GT based on those videos. And then when I got it, I was like, okay, so the reality of it is these sound like crap. They might be okay for people who want it for a particular sound, but they sounded nowhere near as good as the old ones. And then I saw a lot of other channels who were in with the distributors saying, oh, these are improved over the last ones and blah, blah, blah. And they weren't. They really weren't. So I think there's a lot of misleading hype when it comes to gear. So do your homework. That's all I'm going to say. If you like something, it's great. If you don't, that's fine too. What I don't like and what I like might not be what everyone else likes or dislikes. So yeah, people like different things. I just find like, for me, I won't ever buy something just based on one video. I hope most people do that too. All right, Slash says, hey Shane, can't wait for the next Guitar Search Saturday video. It's the best series on YouTube. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. I'm going to hopefully have one up next weekend. I've got some time now, so I've got a hard drive full of stuff I need to edit, but I'm getting through it, which is awesome. So I'm going to try to get the Guitar Search Saturday I shot with Pixie Licks up next Saturday. So that was from Boston. He's a great one. Has Nickelback inspired you in any way? It had, absolutely. It taught me that I don't want to write a song that ever sounds like no. Nah, look, I couldn't even name one of their songs. I know a lot of people like to hang it on that band, but yeah, I don't listen to them at all. I think they were so generic sounding when they came out. Like from what I remember, they were like every other band from a few years prior. And actually, what was I going to say? Ever heard of Dave Alvin? Great singer and songwriter from California. I haven't. Hey, Terry Bear's here. How are you, man? Belting down with rain in Melbourne. Run for cover. Well, I got one of those industrial fan things sitting over here. You can probably hear it on the microphone, but Simon says, hey, dude, you got a job other than the YouTube guitar stuff? What sort of income percentage is your channel? I'm not talking in details, just wondering. So I worked in IT up until 3 years ago, where I left my job and tried to do this full time. And then I also had a few other revenue streams outside of YouTube as well. But that was kind of like what I thought I wanted to do and what I enjoyed the most. I worked, I'd say 4 weeks ago, I did 2 weeks at my old job. I covered for the guy who I employed to take my job because he broke his knee. And it's a real niche IT job. Like, you can't just get cover. You need to know how everything operates at the business. And if they didn't get me, they were screwed. And I thought to myself, you know what? I could use some extra cash. And yeah, so I do contract jobs from time to time. But at the moment, YouTube's been pretty good. So just so you know, guys, when you type swear words into the live stream, it will block it automatically. That's not something I do. So keep it clean and I'll respond to your messages. Even if it's that's awesome, you know, with a word in between it. Greetings from Indonesia. How are you, man? Have I tried the Pignose 5-watt amp in stereo with a clean tube amp? It's amazing with delay pedals. No, the Pignose amp's awesome. I need to try one of them again. The last time I played one of them was probably, has to be 8 years ago. So I need to give them another shot. I don't know if they've got them at the shop. Oh, I don't think they do. All right, Robert. Sorry, man. What model Tokai Love Rock do you have? Is it registered at the Tokai registry? I've never checked the actual serial, but it comes with a certificate and everything. So my ES335 style one's a 145L, L for lefty. And they're sort of like the second highest 335. I think there was one above that. So that's the 145. My Les Paul is a LS110L. So yeah, it's a Les Paul made in Japan. In terms of the lefties, that's all they make in that range. The LS110 is kind of like the only one they have, and it comes in 2 colors, but it's awesome. I've never bothered checking the Tokai registry. I know they're legit. I bought them from places that I 100% trust and have been going to for years. So didn't know about the cursing rule. Oh, it's just the way that the YouTube stream works. It kind of detects stuff automatically. So it's totally cool. It doesn't offend me by any means, but yeah, just know that your message gets instantly blocked or Terry will lay the smack down. So have I played any of the Chinese knockoff Les Pauls. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I've played Chinese ones. I've played some Samick stuff. I've played a brand called what was the brand? Horrible with names. Oh, here comes the thunder. Awesome. The power goes out. I apologize. Yeah, I played a lot of guitars over the years, and that's one of those things where I just can't think of any of them off the top of my head right now. But nearly, come on, brain work. I can't think of any. As soon as we end the stream, I'll think of like 15 of them. But yeah, I've played a lot. My suggestion would be either get an Epiphone, get a Tokai, or get a secondhand Bernie or a Japanese-made Les Paul or something like that if you don't want to go buy a Gibson. Or if you've got money to burn, get a guitar from Heritage. You know, there's all these other brands out there that make really great stuff. So, do I like Tim Tams and Vegemite? Absolutely. I'm trying not to. I'm Vegemite is fine, but man, Tim Tams. You know, I work out too, and I've been working out a year now, and my diet could always be better. The last thing I need is Tim Tams. The thing that I struggle with, I'll buy a box of Tim Tams and I'll eat them all. There's none of this just two a day thing. No, you open them up. It's like opening a block of chocolate. It's gone. It can replace dinner. So yeah. Have I listened to Ocular Rat 19? I don't know. I don't know that band. Sorry, dude. Orville's another one. Great point. Orville make great stuff as well. Yeah, definitely check them out. Have I ever considered moving to the United States or anywhere away from Australia? Absolutely. Yeah. I won't get too much into the story, but maybe 5 years ago, I thought I was going to move over there, or I was thinking about it. Like legally, of course, I thought it might have been a possibility. But I always feel like when I come home, like we got it pretty lucky here, even though everything's like really expensive. And the opportunities are good, but different here as well. If I worked for myself in the United States, you'd have a lot more customer base and all that kind of stuff. There's pros and cons. Anyway, the thing with Australia is it's majoritively safe. I can go anywhere at any time of the night and be fine. You know, like we don't have a lot of the same issues that some areas have in the States, but we have some of that obviously, but it's like a smaller version, so it's not quite as full on. But I love both places. I've been to the States 11 times. I think it's 11 times. I need to work that out. So I love it over there. I love it here too. All right. So Bear says, from Cali, any thoughts on the Line 6 Helix just through an amp? You know what? They've pleasantly surprised me, those things. I haven't admitted that publicly yet, but my friend Rick bought one and I ridiculed him for weeks. I'm like, why did you buy that thing? And he took it to the jam night we go to, and he plugged it into the PA system, and I had a chance to play it, and it felt great. It really felt great to play. I haven't used it through an actual amplifier yet. Rick is actually supposed to call me, I think, Monday, and we're going to work out. Oh, he's going to come around. We're going to shoot some videos. We're going to keep doing the Tally Tuesday thing. I think he's got like 5 Telecasters and 1 Strat. Soon to be probably 6 Telecasters and 0 Strats. So we're going to keep that going. Rick's got that. So plan is I'm going to let him do some demos. And maybe I'll jump in and do some playing too, but it should be cool. Anyway, the Helix surprised me. I've got to say, I thought it was going to be. I'm sort of like still emotionally scarred from the Line 6 M13, I think it was. I bought one of those and returned it pretty quick smart. I think they're okay if you're playing certain types of music, but this new one actually sounds good. It feels like they've referenced things properly. Kind of like how the Kemper works, which was another thing I had a chance to use just a few days ago. I've changed my mind on those as well. That blew me away. It really blew me away. There's a funny video coming up with myself and Ryan regarding a Kemper in 2 weeks from now. So I need to edit that one down. But we're going to model an amp that will make you laugh. I'll leave it at that. Dan says, hesitant to try a Helix Line 6 stuff is garbage mostly. And I totally agree. That's why I ridiculed him for weeks. Like, why did you buy this thing? It's going to be garbage. But it's not like they're old units. It actually is better. Would it ever replace an amp? Maybe not, unless you just want to plug into a PA system. But it feels good to play. It feels much better to me using that than it did ever using the Mustang GT 200, like night and day. So it feels like a much better quality sound. I don't know how else to say it. You just play one and see what you think. I don't work for Line 6 or anything, so I don't. Yeah, I was really surprised, and I think I'm going to mention that on my video because a lot of people hang a lot of crap on Line 6 with maybe good reason as well, but mostly. But yeah, the new stuff's pretty good. Terry says, curious, if you let a koala bear go at a guitar, would it be an Aussie Relic? Man, absolutely. You seen the claws on those things? I remember when I was a kid, I climbed a tree to go sort of pat one, and it took a swipe at me, and its claws were like about that long. I was like, all right, I'm out of here. So yeah, they're crazy. All right, Simon says, a while ago you talked about being happy with the gear that you've got and focusing more on your playing. Thanks for that. I love my bells and whistles, but the groove is what I forget about that sometimes. Yeah, and that's it. Like, I love gear, but it won't actually help your musicality. And as soon as you get to a point with your gear, that law of diminishing returns really kicks in. So for me to go, like, I've got my Bandit set up beautifully with a nice speaker in there. I put that up against anything. I've put it up against boutique amps, and it really holds its own. It sounds fantastic. So for me to go spend another $2,000 on another amp, there's not going to be much in it. And it's about working out what you've got and how to get the best out of it. And once you understand your own gear, it may save you a lot of money down the track because you'll, I always say to people, anytime you buy a new amp, take your old one with you. And that will put it into perspective. If you're happy with your old amp, even if you're not, it's probably a good idea to do that as well. Have I ever played a Gibson L6? No. Never seen a lefty. Those big archtop looking guitars, I take it. They're beautiful. Here's an interesting question. What's my favorite sci-fi film? Straight up sci-fi, huh? I have to consult the wall. Oh, man. See, a lot of my favorite movies from that genre kind of cross over into horror. Like, I really like The Thing. I think that's a good movie. I like weird movies like Reanimator, which is kind of sci-fi. That's not really... If you're talking like alien movies and all that kind of stuff, or full-blown like Star Trek, that's a whole different thing. I'm not big into those, but... you know what? I don't really know. I can't think of an answer off the top of my head here. I got a lot of crappy horror movies facing me at the moment, old 80s comedies, but yeah. Do I have any alternative, Chris? I'm not sure what that means, Hab. Sorry, man. I'm not sure what your question refers to. Fender 65 or 68 Princeton, much difference. Yeah, there's a huge difference. I like the 65 stuff the most. It's a very safe sort of sound. If you want your amp dirty and you like more mids, the 68's the way to go. So the main difference between those amps is one has your typical Fender sound, and the 68's kind of like a hot-rodded version of that. It's a bit fatter and great on the 68 stuff as well. Just light over the net, make sure you can hear it, listen to the light noise, see if it's making a lot of hissing or not as well. That's one tip. Kind of why I got rid of 68 Deluxe reverb was because I thought I'm seeing a lot of people having problems with these, and mine hissed a bit as well. I'm just gonna dodge a bullet and flip it, so I got rid of it. But they both sound good. It just depends on what you like. Oh, that's a great movie too. Yeah, well, the first one. I think I like the sequel more than the first one. Here's a funny one for you. Go watch The 13th Floor. There you go. There's a sci-fi movie. What's the worst album I've ever listened to? That this is so bad. All right, you're gonna laugh. I was living in Michigan back in, what year was it? 1999 or it was 2001? It was one or the other. And I bought an album called Halloween Hootenanny because it had a Rob Zombie song on there, and the rest of that album was so bad, man. Actually, that song I bought the album for was really bad, and I got it from. It used to be a massive bookshop chain that also had a lot of CDs and DVDs and all that kind of stuff. I just bought it based on, I thought, well, this looks cool, and I didn't think much about it, and it was awful. That was at a time where I don't think I could actually listen to it. It was just like you buy it or you don't. So, all right, do I ever drink alcohol? Look, every now and then. I went like 3 years without having any. I might have one a month or something like that. That's about as far as it goes for me. I'm not big into it, so yeah, I don't really drink beer. I don't drink beer. Last full-blown beer I had was when I was 21. I'm like 38 now. I'll have a cider maybe once every 6 months. And I just like premixes. I'll just drink whatever the chicks are having. I'm not really that into it. Thanks, Terry. Cheers, man. I appreciate that. Get a good amp and a decent guitar, and it will make the most difference. Absolutely. So, oh, sorry, Vaughn, I missed your question. What's better, cheaper guitar, sub $1,000, and spend money on upgrading the components, or buy a guitar worth $1,800? Look, if you know your way around fixing stuff and changing things over, you could probably get away with buying a cheaper guitar and doing that, but it just depends, man. Like, some people can justify the difference between an instrument just based on feel and sound. For me personally, I don't really like modifying stuff that much. I know I've done it with my Telecaster. I've changed pickups in there a couple of times, but I like to buy guitars that are just good and I'm ready to go, and I don't have to stress too much about having to change stuff. I think look, if you've got the time and the patience for that, that's cool, but there's nothing worse, than buying a set of pickups or stuff online and not really knowing how it's going to sound, then getting it and being dissatisfied. So my other suggestion would be, if you're going to do that, get a second-hand or used, same thing. I don't know. Everyone uses different terms for that, but get a used guitar that you know is a good brand. So Orville, and then the difference between them really isn't a whole lot. So you might just want to put new pickups in the Orville. And if you can find pickups that you like, you're laughing and you've saved a fortune. You probably got just as good a guitar. So I wouldn't just buy it. If you're talking about just new stuff, it's probably not the smartest way to shop. Like, go get a used guitar that's in good condition and then upgrade that to something that you want. That would be my suggestion. Terry says, Philip McKnight said a similar thing in his live stream last night. I missed that. Totally missed it. I was out last night. I had a band. My friend's band were playing, and I was offline most of yesterday. It was good. Do you drive your neighbors crazy? No. I only ever do my videos when no one's around. I make sure of that. I don't want to be that guy. And, I've got other ways of recording where I'm not going to make a whole lot of noise. Unless I'm doing a full-blown amp demo, most of the sound you hear on my videos is coming out of a 2-notes torpedo, and then I'm listening to it through my studio monitors. And I've actually worked out the 2-notes torpedo thing. I've referenced my actual Blues Deluxe properly with a mic and all that kind of stuff, and the sound quality is just 100% accurate now. I don't know when those videos will start, but yeah, I finally worked out how to actually profile my own amp, and I'm wrapped. It sounds great. Have I ever heard of Tim Guitars in Australia, or is that Time? I'm not too sure how to pronounce that. I don't know them, no. Do I still have those Zexcoil pickups? Unfortunately not. I sold them with a guitar that I moved on that I wasn't using. The dude really wanted the pickups, so that was that. Do your best American accent. I can only do like what would be cliche hillbilly accents, which is yeah, I don't know. It would probably just be pretty nasty. Yeah. All right. Anyway, guys, I tried it on a. If you want to hear my failed attempt at an accent that I kind of worked on for a video, I did a video called, I think it was the top 10 most requested songs at a blues gig or something like that. And yeah, so I put on the accent just for that one of those lines in there, and I think a few people got a bit of a giggle out of it. Anyway, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, please give it a thumbs up. If I answered your question, I appreciate that. All the thumbs up, follow across, and you know, that's always cool to get some support that way, which always helps. I'm just going to check my live stream time here. Just give me a sec. Come on, computer. All right, cool. So we've got 89 people here. Well done. It's all right for a random live stream. It's always awesome. All right. What PT of Texas? Oh, I was asking someone else a question. Do I prefer regular tally or custom 72 or the custom or tally custom 72? All right. So if you're talking about just the guitars, I really love the way that those 72 thin line tallies look, the ones with the humbuckers. But unfortunately, to my ear, those humbuckers sound pretty rolled off in the high end. They're really dark, especially the further up you play. Like as you get towards the end of the fretboard, you know, towards the pickups, they really don't have a lot of bite. So I would say probably I prefer regular tally pickups over that. Like I know the 72 thin lines also do single coil versions. So yeah. All right, I'll check my email. Thanks, man. Pixie, welcome, dude. It's almost 2 a.m. there. What are you doing awake? I guess it's what is it, Friday night there? Awesome. We're just talking about you before, actually. People were saying they wished you did more than one live stream a month. So you're going to have to make them like a bi-weekly sort of deal. What's my favorite guitar and amp combo of all time? You know, when I had my Fender Super Reverb dialed in with my Little Crow, there's a video clip of that on YouTube, and that was epic. The Super Reverbs are hard to beat for the sort of sound that I like. They're just a really great amp. I had a couple of other good memories with my 2-Rock, but I think I'd still favor, if someone said, I'm either going to give you a 2-Rock or a Super Reverb, I'd probably take the Super Reverb. Believe it or not, though, where some of the places I was playing, the Super Reverb wasn't loud enough, and it was huge. So I ended up just going, you know what? I love my Blues Deluxe. I've had great moments on that amp as well. And yeah, I just thought to myself that's as good as that law of diminishing returns thing again. So for me, the Blues Deluxe with the custom speaker is as good as it's going to get for me. Otherwise, I'd get something else. And I've been through so many amps over the years. But this is the thing, right? The other night I was playing, I had the pedals dialed in. You know, I got probably been lucky to be given a lot of stuff. Probably $2,000 worth of pedals going into my Peavey Bandit on the clean channel. The second set, I couldn't be bothered setting up my pedals, so I plugged into the dirt channel. I just went, wow, this is great. This is just as good. So it's one of those things where, yeah, it just depends on how well I'm playing on the night, and also, yeah, just what inspiration strikes with the tone. So I don't know if I've got a definitive answer for that, but it would be somewhere between my Super Reverb, my Blues Deluxe, and even my Bandit. I know people are going to laugh at that, but So Pixie's actually got a live stream tomorrow, so I'll be on for that if I'm awake. I know the time you start, I'm usually getting out of bed. It's like, oh, he's live. So yeah, that's awesome. Have I ever tried the Oco Diablo handmade German blah blah Tubescreamer without the lack of bottom end? Wicked. I haven't tried it. I actually had I got a couple of emails from pretty good companies this week, so I might get some more pretty cool stuff in, but I don't think that was one of them from memory. What do I think of Mooer Pedals? Mixed. I think they kind of, some of their stuff's all right, and other stuff I think are junk. And it's usually the same old story. Same with Donna. One thing Donna don't do right is anything that requires pitch shifting. They just can't seem to get it right. If you're talking about just straight up overdrives, they're fine. I find their tremolos and stuff. I can't remember if Mooer has a trem, but most of the tremolos that I try from these budget brands, that this is the problem with tremolo pedals. That's your volume, right? A good tremolo pedal or an amp tremolo does this. It goes up and it goes down. It goes up and it goes down. And all these cheap ones do this. So you get an audible volume drop when you kick them on, and I hate that. Some do have a volume control on them. Some don't. So your safe thing would be distortion. Overdrive pedals from any of these companies are going to be fine. Delays are usually okay as well. Trems and phasers and all that kind of stuff. Not that I'd ever use a phaser. But yeah, generally not great. So actually, Shane said he might be able to get a Viper Pro to demo. Hey, yeah, I think what are we waiting until 2027 for Pixie's amp demo, are we? Is that what that's in reference to, Terry? Blues Deluxe versus Hot Rod Deluxe. I'm leaning towards the latter. I actually prefer the Blues Deluxe over a Hot Rod, and the reason is, well, I should say what the reason isn't. They're basically very, very similar amps. The thing is, with the way that the Hot Rod's voiced, it works well with that cheap-ass speaker that they put in them. The Blues Deluxes don't. You change the speaker in a Blues Deluxe, it's going to sound much better in a live mix than a Hot Rod. It has more mids, has more poke. It's great. It has still that big sound. But you're right, straight off the shelf. I've done videos A-Bing both of them, and they've got pretty decent hits too. Most people preferred one or the other for whatever reason, but the smoothest sound is definitely the Hot Rod. That's probably the best original sort of pedal platform amp, clean channel. The drive channel sucks on both of them, but the clean channel is great on both. But I could see why you'd pick that one over the Blues Deluxe, just in that the Blues Deluxe can sound a bit ice picky straight away, especially with that stock speaker. You get rid of that, it's epic. Epic. You know, I bought this was going back probably 2 years ago. I actually bought a second 2-rock amp, right? I bought a Studio Pro 35. And this was not long after that I had the other Blues Deluxe with the Swamp Thing speaker. I got that amp home and put it next to my Blues Deluxe, and I went, oh, what have I done? Everything about the Blues Deluxe with that Swamp Thing speaker killed it. And I took it back. I was like, man, I can't deal with this. It had a few problems, luckily, too. But, yeah. What are some good pedals for blues/blues rock? Man, take your pick of any overdrive on the market. There's a million of them. There really is. It comes down to how much you want to spend. My suggestion would be look up some British distortion pedals, and not that they're made there, but that particular type of sound. Any of the ones that do that Marshall kind of vibe, you'll probably get a kick out of for a lot of that AC/DC kind of stuff. That's a pretty cool sound for that. I'm a huge fan of the Greek pedals. I'm lucky enough to just get sent lots of them. I get a lot of stuff from America. I get a lot of stuff from all over the place. But there's a company called Crazy Tube Circuits, and they make a British distortion pedal, which the name slips my mind. It's white and sort of gray, and it's amazing. You like that sound? Check them out. They're amazing. Do I ever use a looper pedal? Yeah, absolutely. I got a little Donna one. It's about this big. I took that to Jerry's actually, and when I was shooting the videos over there, I used it. on a few of them. I think the next electric guitar demo I've got, I actually looped some stuff up. But no, they're fun. I actually got a second one sitting on the counter over here too. I got a whole lot of little pedals from a company the other day, a new pedal company, and they look great. I just can't think of the name of them off the top of my head, but yeah. The Friedman B overdrive. Yeah, Friedman made great stuff. Nooks OD3 is a nice cheap overdrive. Absolutely. Another good one that you might want to check out too, if you can still get them, is Delta Lab. They're steel enclosures. They sell for about 49 bucks new. I reckon they're really good. I've had mine for 8 years. It's still going strong. You know, hey, great. Vanzini says, like the sound of the new Wampler Tumnus. I haven't listened to any of those videos. I saw that Wampler have released another iteration of the Klon. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just, it doesn't really excite me that much. I mean, he makes good stuff. I'm not saying he doesn't make good stuff, but you know, it's weird. It's a bit weird that there's another pedal that's kind of like the Klon coming out. I haven't listened to it. I'll get around to it at some point, but I just haven't listened to it. Yeah, I think you don't really need to mess with that too much. And one criticism I have of Wampler pedals is too many controls. There's too much you can play with, which means there's sometimes too much that can go wrong. I think they're overcomplicated. Like I've got one of his tape delay pedals and I really love it, but there's 3 controls on there that you don't need. Like there's a tap tempo function on there, right? Which is great. So why do you need even a rate control on there? It's just another thing you could kick with your foot. You know, like there's stuff like that I think you can probably just simplify this. So I don't know what the new Tumnus does, but odds are it probably just shifts a few frequencies or cuts something off or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. I'll have to check it out. I like Brian. I think Brian's a great dude. I think he makes some great stuff, but yeah, I haven't even looked. I'm not that interested in finding out what it is right yet. Oh, anyway, but I'll check it out. Chinese Klon equals best. I'm a cheap bugger. Yeah, well, this one was great. This thing was just one of the best. I mean, the thing with the Klon is, right, that's what it is. 3 controls and you're done. You don't really need to start shifting a whole lot of frequencies. If you buy a Klon, you kind of want it to do that. Yeah, what a Klon does, it does extremely well. More EQ controls with his pedals and re-releases them. Yeah, see, I don't know, man. It'll end up just, I don't know. I don't want to speak too soon, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's slightly unnecessary for a Klon. Unless it's doing something for the upper mid frequency that you can kind of shift that. Maybe that might be cool. Because it's not about low end with the Klon. The Klon, it doesn't need more low end. It's not designed to be a low end pedal. It's designed to hit an upper frequency in the range that pushes everything beautifully. Maybe a shift on that high frequency might be cool, but Shelley, who make the Ponyboy pedal in Florida, the guys from there, he's already done it where you can actually sort of shave off the top end just by flicking a switch, and that's as complicated as I think it needs to get. I don't know. I'll need to check it out. I'm interested to see what the story is. Anyway, a good groove is important. Who's my favorite drummer? Steve Jordan. Totally, he's the best. I saw Steve Jordan play live, and he's amazing. He was almost the highlight of the show for me. Derek Trucks was amazing, but Steve Jordan, unbelievable. He's an unbelievable drummer in terms of just sheer groove. He's a beast. I like Steve Gadd as well. I mean, I've only seen him in a few different sort of situations, and you know, both Steves, they're both amazing. Have I ever met any of my subscribers in person? Yeah, I have a few times. I've been pulled up walking around in the city, or usually in guitar shops. I haven't been to a guitar shop in ages where someone goes, "Hey, are you that guy?" So it doesn't often happen outside of guitar stores, but I know Pixie's here. He can vouch for that story. When we're in Natick in Boston, a couple of kids recognized me, and it always surprises me. But yeah, a couple of them come to the jam. They go, man, you look familiar. I'm like, do you ever watch like YouTube videos? So yeah. You need no more than 2 knobs for a fuzz. Interesting that you said that, actually, because I just got a 2-knob fuzz pedal from bloody hell, VS Audio in Greece, one of the new ones. So yeah, and it's great. I thought, oh no, there's no tone control, and I turned it on. I went, oh, it doesn't even need a tone control. It's amazing. What's my top 5 Eric Clapton songs? Wow, I'll probably reference ones that I like that weren't his, because they're the ones I'm going to think of immediately. But I could basically, I really love Hard Times. I know that's a Ray Charles tune. I really love Come Back Baby as well, which is another Ray Charles song. Anyone who thinks Clapton can't sing, go listen to Come Back Baby, his version of it. Unbelievable. I like his more sort of mellow blues stuff overall, but yeah, it's going to be hard to pick 3 more. I really like a lot of his. I'm not stuck in the old days with Clapton. I actually like a lot of his stuff from the 90s. I think that's his best playing, at least in my opinion. All right, I'm confused about Zvex pedals. I have a Vexer series Zvex Fuzz factory. How is that different from the non-Vexter? So there's some, I think, that are made in the US that are hand-painted, and there's some that are printed. The graphics are printed on. I think that's the difference. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the main difference is something like that. Oh, man, yeah, I can't think of... Like, I'd have to just go... For me to pick top 5 would be pretty hard. I really love his... See, I'm not even that big a fan of the covers stuff that he's done, like... what's the reggae one that he plays? Oh, come on, brain. Man, it's one of those days today where I can't think of the actual names of the songs. But anyway, there's a version of Live at Hyde Park and Old Love as well, where he just rips for 20 minutes, and it's awesome. So in terms of guitar, I've got like favorite songs of his, and then I've got favorite guitar ones. But I really dig a lot of the stuff that's off the From the Cradle album. I really dig that. And some of the unplugged stuff's pretty cool too. Hey, Ben, how are you, man? He recently just swapped a friend of mine an amp or a guitar, I should say, for an amp. So that's cool. I Shot the Sheriff, that's the one. So that Live in Hyde Park version's great. That's not one of my favorite songs of his, but there's moments in watching him live where that totally blows me away. And the Every Day I Have the Blues on there is really good too. So a lot of the stuff that I play, I picked out of that DVD over the years. There's a lot of licks you'll hear on those songs where you'll go, oh, wow, okay, this is what Shane tries to do poorly. Hey, VS Audio's here. There we go. We're just talking about your new fuzz pedal before, saying thanks for sending it out. I'm looking forward to shooting a vid. What's my favorite distortion pedal? I don't really play distortion that much. I kind of like overdrives that I can stack. I prefer that sound than full-blown distortion, but a good British distortion pedal that I like I said before, Crazy Tube Circuits makes a really good distortion. It's definitely one of my favorites in recent memory. VS Audio also make a decent distortion. It's called it's got an explosion on the front. I can't remember exactly what it's called, so I apologize. My brain isn't working today. What's up with germanium versus silicon? Oh, well, we've got VS Audio here. They can explain that. It's just a different diode, basically, that changes the sound, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong there, but yeah, Clapton's has got nerve damage in his hands. Oh, he's got nerve damage and his hands are shot. So yeah, he had a whole lot of problems. He had like a full body eczema, and then he had like his spine was causing him problems and all kinds of stuff. So I think he's pretty much done. Yeah. Parabot says you never steal any licks. You were just inspired by them. Absolutely. Clapton played a 335. Absolutely. So the stuff that I really loved of his, he inspired me to get a 335. That was the sound that I thought I was going to play forever. And then you find other guys who are like, oh, he plays a Strat. Oh, he plays a Tele. So, you know. But in terms of my favorite Clapton stuff, if you put on that Live in Hyde Park, go have a listen to the 335 chops. It's unreal. Yeah, I used to play 335 a lot, absolutely. Best single position style humbucker. I really like the Joe Bardens. I think they sound good for tallies. The Zexcoil stuff's good. I haven't tried them in Telecasters though, but they sound probably they're the best Stratty kind of pickups. I mean, there's a million of those sort of hot rail pickups out there. It just depends on what style of music you want to play to, man. These are, you know, subjective questions that only you can answer. You got to find out what you like and what works for your style of music as well. Hendrix Top Song, Foxy Lady. Now, Crosstown Traffic's pretty cool. I probably would go with that. Have I ever built a DIY guitar kit? No, not guitar, but pedals I have. That's one that I built there. I don't know if I've got the patience or the space or the tools to do like a full guitar build. I'd like to at some point, maybe when I move. Actually, someone asked me about distortion pedals before. There's pedals that kind of go across the middle ground. Like I really like the Plimsoll. Even now, I still think that's one of the best pedals. It's an overdrive fundamentally, but it has a second gain stage. That's another one that I really like. You know, and there's pedals like the OCD, which is kind of in the middle as well. In my opinion, it does overdrive, but it does distortion really well. You know, I'm thinking of a whole lot of other ones now, but yeah, I could rant about all kinds of distortion pedals, but it just depends on what kind of vibe you're going for. DIY Guitar Pedals Melbourne. He's a great guy and sells circuits. Cool. I know DIY Guitar Pedals. Yeah, if you talk, I think I know that guy. Actually, I helped him fix his server a couple of months back. So I have a 6-knob OCD. Do they make a 6-knob one? Aren't they like 3 controls and a toggle switch? I didn't know they made that. That's interesting. I have to check that out. All right, guys. Well, I've been on here for probably, I don't know what, 2 hours now. And I said it was going to be 45 minutes. So please give the video a thumbs up if I answered your question. And if I missed anything and you don't ask me any questions, this video will cache on YouTube soon and then post on there and I'll reply. So, yeah, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the questions. And hopefully it was a bit of fun. So we've got 100 people here now. I'm just wrapping it up. So this will be saved on YouTube from this point forward, or well, from as of now hanging up. And then, yeah, you can ask any questions you like. So rock on, guys. Thanks again. Have a good weekend. And yeah, plenty more videos coming up this week. Nearly every day, I think. It's insane. So, and check out Monday too. I've got a series with Ryan starting up again, and he plays amazingly. So check it out. I think you'll get a kick out of his chops. He's on another level, that dude. He's really good. All right, guys, take it easy. Thanks again. Catch you soon.